Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, after analyzing about over 100 artists, I guess, in the past year, from small artists to big, the most famous ones, I have summarized that it can all be determined by just four things. So, what I mean by that is that I can determine if someone is going to be highly successful in the music industry or not by just four simple factors. And I'm going to share with it to you guys because I think this is going to be a game changer if you are pursuing a career in the music industry, whether it be DJing or whether it be a music artist, producer. You now can just focus on optimizing these four things. And it doesn't have to be super hard or super complicated, guys. All right? But if you understand like this framework, then you can see where you're at and what you need to focus on next. So don't make it too complicated for yourself. Just listen to this framework. All right, so first we're going to determine, right, this is where my train of thought was. We're going to determine what makes music success, okay? Because you have to, what determines music success? And most people would probably say these four things. They would say followers, money, big shows, or streaming numbers. The old me would be like, yeah, that determines like, music success if you're a successful music artist, right? But hey, look, followers can be bought. And if you're coming in from a different industry or a different niche, you might already have an existing following. So that can't count. You can already be rich, already have made money from anything else. Maybe you're a business owner and you're getting into doing music. So that doesn't count. Big shows. If you run big shows, if you do your own events, I've seen people that aren't really DJs or producers and they're playing these huge festivals just because they maybe own it or they're part of the team running it. So you can't really determine it by shows. And streams, if streams is all you have and you can't really make a career off that unless all you want to do is just write. Not saying that, if you have some decent streams that you're not successful, like you're doing well, but I don't think that alone can determine the success. It's like, okay, so if it can't be any of these, then what can it be? Okay, maybe, people say, oh, maybe all four of them. If you have all four, you can literally get all of it with just money, right? And again, like it's a way to fast track your way into the industry, but that doesn't really determine music success. If anything, that determines good money success and good use of your money. What it's now come down to is just one word that everyone basically hates, right? And you're going to be like, oh my God, it's cliche. Wow. Influence. Of course these guys are going to influence if they're fucking massive. But influence is a huge fucking word when it comes to music because these are people that can sell tickets, sway a crowd, basically like starting a freaking cult. What is going to be able to generate influence? Because if you can generate influence, you can then easily generate this and dominate the market. I want you guys to start thinking your music career as a table. Well, it's a shitty table. Let's go. Bam, 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 and bam. There are four things that you just need to focus on. Two of them are your products, and the two, marketing. Number uno, right, being one of the products, is your catalog, and the other one is your performance. This one, your marketing, is your distribution, so your content, and then two is your branding, which is your catalog is essentially your music, your fucking art. Your performance is how people can experience you, right? So this is things like your DJ sets, your live performances, your pop-ups, your anything can be an experience. You can do a freaking live stream DJ rave thingy, and if that's how people experience you through VR or whatnot, that still counts. Your content is essentially how you distribute to the masses. Distribute. Your branding is not about your freaking artwork pieces. It's how you are perceived. Perceived. I before E except after C. Perceived in person or online. Now, to determine someone who's absolutely successful in music is they have all four legs stable and optimized. And if you look at your Skrillexes, your Fred again, like the catalog of music is there. They have it, and there's so much of it that you can sit there a whole day listening to their tunes. And the experience that they provide at a live show is incredible, right? Every time you go to these guys' sets, they put on an absolute banger of a performance, and it makes you want to go again. They've been doing it for years, that there's endless amounts of content and distribution because people are now talking about them because they become such an authority in the space. They are always making stuff, whether it be videos, tweets, Facebook posts, Instagram posts. There are no artists that are successful that are lacking in the content department. Just distributes these two products. Same with the branding, how they interact with fans, what they're like talking in front of a camera, what they're like in person, unique personalities, super nice, right? Or some of them may be controversial. But at the end of the day, it's strong branding presence, right? You can be someone that's absolutely passionate about something that is somewhat controversial, but if people know about it, then you've got this one nailed. So it becomes very clear on what you need to be doing. What most artists and producers that are doing in this day and age that are struggling, they will have just the two products optimized. If you're watching this, you'll probably have insane pieces of music and you can probably DJ like freaking James Hype. But you've got fuck all on the branding or content side and you refuse to pay attention to them. And then you're wondering why you're not growing. If you now analyze it as having two legs, can a table fucking stand up? No. The table needs four. In fact, you could probably stand with three. If you just, most artists that are like starting out, they will optimize for these two and they'll think that these two are the only thing they need to focus on. Artists that have gone through it for a bit, they've decided, okay, maybe I need to start really getting my head screwed in and start optimizing for a third pillar. So they'll utilize and they've probably started doing some content, which is good because then it brings them to having three pillars. And if you have three pillars, your music, DJing, and content, you will also start to see stabilization in your career because you've now opened a floor of marketing to distribute your two amazing products. Now, if you think of another scenario of what people say, oh yeah, they see girls that are doing OnlyFans and they're like becoming DJs, right? Or maybe models that become DJs and they're getting all these big shows and getting all these success and you're like, oh, it's because they have fucking followers. No, it's because they have pretty much three things optimized. They might not make music, right? But they have, if you think of what they have DJing optimized. They probably have the branding and they have the content. So again, 3 things optimized. That's why they're growing. You cannot do it with 2, because if you only have branding and then you have content, but you don't have any product, then how are people going to experience you or buy from you? What's crazy is that like it is pretty much on easy mode to anyone that has these 2 things optimized. So, models, actors, athletes that want to become music artists, because they have a branding and content. It's very easy to now just get 2 products where people can experience you playing a DJ set or listen to a catalog of your music. Which is why I'm always telling people that you should be focusing so much on this from the get-go, because it is the easiest way to create success, to create influence. If you only have the 2 that are optimized, are the products and no marketing, then all you're going to be doing is wasting a lot of time and money, and you're just going to create shitloads of stress. And you're also going to lose a lot of confidence in yourself, and your ability to succeed is going to slowly diminish over time, because you're going to start to think of yourself as the problem rather than the fact that you're just not utilizing the 2 marketing pillars. Because there's no good sitting there in your head. It needs to be out in the world. So I strongly encourage you guys to really be focusing on these 2 things. And that's how you're going to start looking at it. If you want to generate hype, you try and generate all 4 at once, but it is quite hard. I'd definitely just recommend having 1 product and then just going through and optimizing the 2 marketing pillars. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or you want to argue with me in the comments, feel free. Let's go. I hope that helps anyone.